It's a heck of a fight back today. Is that the kind of stuff that you would have dreamed of, to be in red, to be fighting through the field, to hear the roar in your name every time you got a pass in? It must be something special.
I mean, obviously I couldn't hear him, but to drive in front of the Tifosi today, this weekend, has been, a highlight of the year so far. And there's a lot of pressure on us as a team with not struggling through the year so far with the car and particularly with our qualifying. So to have such a strong race and to be moving forwards, making ground, it was such a great feeling. And I would say for me, I don't remember the last time I had a race like that where you're moving forwards. I'm sure there was one maybe last year, but this one's different, obviously, because I'm in the red car, and I haven't done that yet. So to finally have that connection, that synergy with the car today and progressing was a really great feeling.
The cameras cut, but the truth came through the radio. As the world celebrated Hamilton's stunning P4 at Imola, a private message, never aired, rippled through the Ferrari garage. Hamilton's voice came through, steady but sharp. If we improve qualifying, we'll be winning. No hype, no fluff. That was a shot fired, a direct message to the team, and a veiled jab at Ferrari's biggest flaw, their Saturday failures. On race day, Hamilton wasn't just fast, he was surgical. He sliced past Leclerc and Albon in the final laps like he had something to prove. And now, thanks to the leaked radio, we know he did. This wasn't just another strong drive, it was a warning. Hamilton's not waiting around, he's making it clear. Sort qualifying and we win. The official broadcast gave you the fairy tale, but the radio gave you the plan. Next, the man behind the headset, Riccardo Adami, why he might be the hidden ace in Hamilton's Ferrari takeover. Riccardo Adami isn't just Hamilton's race engineer, he's the man decoding fire into finesse. When Lewis crossed the line at Imola, he said one word, thanks. Adami didn't respond with data, he laughed, but not just any laugh, it was charged. It held surprise, pride, and something deeper, trust. Then came Adami's voice over the radio. Those overtakes were explosive. Hamilton replied, cool as ever, pushing mate, pushing. Beneath the calm exchange, something rare was unfolding, a connection, a quiet but powerful sync Ferrari hasn't seen in years, one that Leclerc, despite his talent, hasn't fully built. Adami, once Sainz's man, Vettel's strategist, was quietly reassigned to Lewis. On paper, a reshuffle. In reality, a statement. Now, he's not just managing Hamilton, he's fueling him. Adami speaks sparingly, but every word lands. And every adjustment he makes, it's written in the data. This isn't just a driver and engineer, it's the spark behind Ferrari's quiet storm. The third stint told the truth. Hamilton wasn't just faster, he was in sync. The setup clicked. The gap to Leclerc grew, and it wasn't chance, it was chemistry. When the right engineer meets the right driver, strategy becomes a scalpel. Ferrari has race pace, that's never been the issue. But on Saturdays, they go quiet. Why? At Imola, Ferrari's backyard, Leclerc and Hamilton started P11 and P12. That wasn't a stumble, that was a decision. A quiet, calculated embarrassment for the Tifosi. Insiders say the SF-25 is hiding something, a brutal power mode that never sees daylight in qualifying. Why? Because the moment they trim the car for max attack, the rear brakes cook, the rear snaps, and tires vanish before turn 9. It's a balancing act built on fear. But here's the twist. Someone at the top doesn't want it fixed. Sources talk about a cold war inside Ferrari, two factions, one clutching to old-school reliability, the other, Adami and Hamilton's circle, demanding aggression, revolution. That's why Saturdays feel limp and Sundays explode. This isn't about speed, it's about control. Hamilton didn't just pass Leclerc, he made a statement, a throne-shaking, line-in-the-sand moment, lap 57, Tamburello. Hamilton swings around the outside, no hesitation, no mercy. This wasn't racing, this was mutiny in motion. That wasn't just an overtake, it was a declaration. Lewis didn't wait for team orders, he didn't ask for permission, he saw the moment and took it. And Leclerc, he didn't even flinch, no defense, no fight back, just silence. After the race, his radio was telling, no great job team, no congrats for Hamilton, just the sound of a driver swallowing something bitter, the shift of power, because this wasn't about position, this was about presence, and Leclerc felt it. Once the golden child of Maranello, Leclerc now stands in the shadow of a legend. In raw speed, in racecraft, in energy, Hamilton is taking ground. He's already ahead in the sprint standings. And after Imola, the championship gap is just 8 points. But stats aren't the story. The real shift? Hamilton's words move the room. When he speaks, Ferrari listens. When Leclerc speaks, it echoes empty. That move at Tamburello wasn't about racing lines. It was a takeover. And behind the garage doors at Imola, the images told the story. Hamilton, beaming, surrounded by engineers, embraced by a Adami, the heartbeat of a team starting to believe. Leclerc, alone, eyes low, until Vasseur pulled him aside, quietly, away from cameras, but not from ears, because what leaked next was seismic. Sources close to the paddock revealed Vasseur's question, sharp, direct. You defended against Albon, why not Hamilton? The silence after that said more than any team radio ever could. Leclerc's response was ice cold. If you want an internal war, it's already begun. That line never made the press release, but in the paddock, it hit like a thunderclap, because Charles understood what Imola really was. It wasn't just a race, it was a reckoning. Hamilton came in as the high-profile arrival, the superstar in red, but by the end of Sunday, he was the one dictating the energy, on the radio, on the pit wall, on the asphalt. Ferrari promised unity, Imola delivered civil war. And here's the kicker. Hamilton went faster, with a worse setup. That detail reveals everything. In the second stint alone, Lewis averaged 2.3 seconds faster per lap than Leclerc. Let that sink in. How? He ran a looser SF-25, unstable rear aero, lower downforce, more risk. It was a knife's edge, but Hamilton backed himself, trusted his brakes, his feel, his control. Leclerc played it safe, higher downforce, more grip in corners. But Imola punishes hesitation. That conservative setup cost him dearly. Slower exits, no punch in the straights, no room to attack or defend. And when the moment came, Hamilton didn't wait. No DRS, no orders, just instinct, precision, ruthlessness. This wasn't about team favoritism. It was domination, both technical and mental, delivered in broad daylight for all of Maranello to see. Hamilton won in China, but Ferrari buried it like a secret. Shanghai Sprint, Lewis on pole, clean getaway, leads every lap, victory, his first win in red, even if it wasn't a Sunday. A historic moment, you'd think. But what did Ferrari do? Silence. No celebration video, no splashy headline, barely a post. Why? Because Leclerc limped home in 8th, and hours later, Ferrari was disqualified from the Grand Prix for 2 technical violations so sloppy they looked amateur. Inside the garage, Hamilton didn't explode on the radio. He waited, then behind closed doors, he let rip. How can we chase world titles, he asked, when we sabotage ourselves with bureaucracy and denial? That moment changed everything. The guest star routine, dead. From then on, Hamilton shifted gears, took control, built a team inside the team. Adami became more than an engineer. He became the anchor of Hamilton's vision. And quietly, the divide inside Ferrari began to crack wide open. That forgotten sprint win, it wasn't erased, it was the spark, the start of something far bigger, because Hamilton doesn't just want trophies, he wants a legacy, one forged in red, but driven by his standards, closed-door meetings, personal telemetry analysts, tactical reports sent straight to the top, and most of all, results. Results that now make Ferrari's claim of equal drivers look like an outdated myth. Hamilton isn't adapting to Ferrari, he's rebuilding it. Leclerc realized it too late. This isn't just a battle for pace, it's a battle for space, and Hamilton is claiming his, not just as a driver, but as the spiritual leader of a new Ferrari. Every sharp race, every censored radio, every smirk from Adami. It's not noise, it's construction, a fortress being built brick by brick, because when the title fight heats up, only one driver looks ready to walk through fire with cold blood and sharper instinct. So here's the real question. Will Vasseur back Hamilton as the true number one? Or will Ferrari, once again, let politics crush their own rebirth? At this point, it's not just about winning, it's about legacy. And Hamilton is already writing Ferrari's next chapter in bold red ink. If you feel the real Ferrari story is being kept from the cameras, then stay with us. Like, comment, share, subscribe, because the truth won't be televised. But here, it gets decoded. And this is just the beginning. The next GPs will speak louder. Engineer swaps. Strategy calls that tilt one way, and the Leclerc slowly haunted, not by Red Bull, but by the fear of losing Ferrari before ever owning it. Hamilton doesn't just want to win in red, he wants to transform it, or burn it down trying. So if you want to stay ahead of the official story, hit that button, turn on the bell, and keep your eyes open. Because here, the truth always finds its way, no matter how quietly it starts.